Hello, my name is Eric Magidson, and I am a computer information systems instructor for Central Oregon Community College. Now, as a technology instructor, I of course leverage technology in teaching my classes, and there's a huge benefit, of course, as I do this to get students involved with the technology that they're going to experience and need to be able to use within their professional careers. Today, however, what I want to offer is a quick look at one of my online courses, how it's set up, some brief examples of the technology I use to create what I feel is a top-notch online educational experience for my students. So first of all, what I want to introduce you to is a program, you'll see it down here at the corner, called Camtasia Studio. Now it's by a company called Techsmith.com, and Camtasia Studio allows me to record online lectures just like this one. So this is a tool that I use when I want to create lectures that I am going to reuse throughout the course. Lectures meaning videos. Now what I've found in some research that I did a few years ago is that students really do not interact, if they even read, email communications as much as they will interact and watch instructional videos like the one that I'm doing here. So what I've done with my online classes is really try to leverage video and internet technologies as much as I possibly can. And I'll give you some examples of that as we walk through the course and what a typical week looks like in one of the courses that I teach for my students. So what I'm hoping is that this helps you as you create your online courses. What I want to point out is that I am using the Blackboard educational content management system, but everything that I'm doing in here is easily integratable into the other content management systems like Moodle, for instance, or Google for Education. Now, I told you about this tool, and I'm going to move this tool off, the Camtasia screen recorder tool. But what I want to bring over is another Techsmith product. This one right here is called Snagit. Now the great thing with Snagit is that I can actually snag pieces of images on the screen, and in doing so be able to circle, be able to comment. So it is one way that if I have an image of a student's work, for example, I can grab that, I can comment, I can also just grab a piece of the screen and say, well, you know, if you click up here, you'll get to the e-learning section, and quickly send that off in an email. It comes as a link. Snagit is best used with another technology called Screencast. Now, Screencast is a cloud-based subscription storage mechanism that when I make a Snagit image or Snagit video, which I'm going to demonstrate in subsequent videos because I can't use Snagit while I'm recording a video, okay? But what I want to tell you is that when I do create a short video, and I'm going to explain how I use those, when I create that, it becomes a great way to communicate with students. But I use Snagit for things that are temporary. And I'll give you some examples of this momentarily. So let's look at, first of all, the basic structure of my Blackboard course. You'll notice that when students come in, they start in the announcements section. Now, when we talk about announcements, these are communications with students, and these communications are not only posted in the announcements section of Blackboard, but they are also, if you choose to, have them emailed to the student. And I always want students to get communications multiple ways. So I will have them posted. I post them for a length of time that is reasonable for a student to be in the class at least every other day. And they also get these via their email, okay? So examples of announcements here are basic communications. Anything I do, I try to do it within this system. I don't then utilize email except on one-on-one communication. So when I'm communicating with the class, I do it through Blackboard, and each member of the course gets an email in there. Now, The basic structure here, if you notice, is course information. When a student comes in, they are going to receive a first announcement, a communication from me. It is going to have a video that walks them through the entire structure, just like I'm doing for you here, of the Blackboard course, so that they become familiar with where to find the materials they need for that day or that week in the course. So if you notice, I always direct them to the Start Here, and in the Start Here section of Blackboard, which I'm waiting to load, there it is, it says, notice, please watch the attendance requirement number 1. So for an online class, I want to ensure that in the first week, a student is going to interact. What I find is that if a student misses these imperative attendance requirements, they already are going to be challenged with online education and the utilization of online to learn and demonstrate the outcomes they want. So this clues me in on those students that might need a little bit more help, that might need more direction in order to be successful in an online course. So if you notice at this point, we get into course syllabus and schedules. Now, I use Google Documents and embed my syllabi and embed my schedule. But if you notice the way I do it, the student can click up here and open up the Google Docs. From here, they can print it if they want. They can save it out to their computer. They can do a lot of things with this as they review the syllabus. We'll talk more about that in a minute. Finally, I have this interactive schedule for students. And if you notice, the basic schedule here just gives them the topics that are covered. I cover topics a couple times a week, just as if they were in class. And then I have basic homework due dates. Now, this is not necessarily enough for students, so I have this weekly assignment schedule. Now, the great thing about this schedule is all I have to do is come into the original Google Doc, click here, and I can change the date to the next time I teach the class. When I change this date, it automatically populates all of these dates accordingly. And when I change this one, it populates as I have my homework mostly due on Mondays. If you wanted to, you could certainly have Monday's work due on Wednesday or Thursday, and then Wednesday or Thursday's work due on the following Monday. It's whatever works best for you. But if you notice with this weekly schedule, students are able to download and utilize this in order to know exactly what assignment is due, where they're going to find the assignment. In this case, it could be in Blackboard, or we use an interactive e-learning system called Sam Cengage that the publisher gives. Or if you notice, they're going to need to reference the textbook. It gives them the due date. These are populated from the previous slide automatically, and it gives them the point value for the course. So if you notice, this course is worth 940 points currently. Now, as we come back up here, we'll go back into the weekly Start Here, and we'll see what else we find here is information for students. So once they've gone into this Start Here through the first week, they're going to go ahead and be able to navigate the course. As you can see, there's a section on instructor information, and this course parallels the international outcomes for the International Computer Competency Exam or exams. So as an instructor, if I'm wanting my students to earn a certification, I should have that certification as well. So I list that certification, I list some requirements for email, how to make communication better with email, etc., and also what qualifies me to teach. So I have a older resume here. There's also the fact that I keep a Google Calendar up to date. So students, if they want to, can go ahead, this is just my school calendar, and students can go ahead and link to this calendar so that they have my office hours available to them. So again, this is all just the basic navigation and structure for the course. Finally, in the Getting Started section, I have Sam Cengage textbook information, links where they can find it, information that they need, and then of course this changes each term with the Sam Cengage online learning environment access that they need to be able to get to in order to do additional work online. Then, as I said, I give 2 attendance requirements. The first is due on Wednesday of the first week, and the second is due Friday at noon. Now, if you notice, I don't open these all up at one time. This one opens up, and then once they complete this one will open up as of Wednesday. Okay, so this one ends Wednesday at noon. This one opens up Wednesday. This way, I know that the student is interacting with the material. Now, there have been questions in regards to, hey, where's the second attendance requirement? So this is always posted. Now, remember, we're in the back end or the administrative area. So you are seeing things as I, the administrator, see them. Finally, I have the opportunity for all of my students to utilize zoom.us in order to gain access to me virtually. So anytime that I'm holding an in-person office hour, or a lot of times because I'm teaching online, I will offer office hours after 5 p.m. at night so that students can get to me easily. Okay, so as you notice, all they have to do is click on this and they get into my personal meeting room. So at any point, all they have to do is come back to Blackboard and click on that link in order to auto-generate and attend the Zoom meeting. Now, of course, I need to have that Zoom meeting open, and I give them times that the meeting is open. Let me go ahead and close that out. Finally, I have a section on how they can take the IC3 certification, so anything that they need in regards to that. Now, I do offer what's called performance points. This is not extra credit. These are performance points. Should the student choose to incur the expense of taking one or more of these certifications, they can do so, and they can earn up to 60% of the course points by doing this. So they're still going to need to do key assignments throughout in addition to this to pass the course. Finally, I have a basic frequently asked questions section, and as you notice, I really leverage videos for all of these. I have interactive videos that walk students through how to do certain things within the course. The reason being, I find that students will not read emails or instructions, and thus they will communicate with me asking questions that are answered in these videos. So I always reference them back to videos. It saves me time, and it gives them the information no matter when they're online taking the class. So you'll see me leverage videos a lot. Now, as we talk about leveraging videos, I want to take you back to announcements here, and I'm going to do a Control F, and I am going to find a Welcome to the Week video. So let's look at, for example, Welcome to Week 9. Each week, beginning with week 1, I create what's called a Welcome to the Week video. And in this communication, it's an announcement. I give them any information that they need. Anything in red is highly important, due dates, etc. So if you notice, this was the 9th week, there was a quiz. I start giving them options for taking the final exam and how they do that. Now, this is a video that I create just like the video I'm creating here for you. However, I use the Snagit tool because this is a one-time video that I'm not going to need to be redundant. Okay, so I use the Snagit tool. I start up a video just like this one. When I'm done, I hit share. It goes out to a cloud and gives me back a link that I can share with the students. So if we come in here, if you notice as I mouse over this link, if you look in the lower right, and I'll take you down there, there is screencast.com and this unique video. So what I found is when I created a comprehensive email and embedded a directive in there where students could earn performance points, I got about a 9 to 12% response rate. But as soon as I did that same thing within a video, my response rate rose to 42 to 48% response rate. Now, what I mean by that is actionable items is within the welcome videos, within some of my lecture videos, etc., so that I know students are doing these. I go ahead and embed the opportunity for them to earn some performance points by either emailing me a definition, going out and researching something on the web and describing it to me, something that makes them work for some additional points in the course. But by doing that, I can see what students are interacting with the course on a regular basis. and how they're interacting with the course. So I think that's pretty important. Now, I do want to jump back real quick to this idea of attendance requirements, because if you notice, I'm also using Screencast for that. And the product of Camtasia and Screencast allows me to create these instructional videos that are interactive. So as you can see here, when I clicked on this video, I am being asked to put in my name and email address. And the reason for this is as I go through this video,
hello students, and welcome to
pause it. As I go through this video, which is introducing them to the course, you'll notice these right here. And I'm going to just go ahead and let this run.
There is a technical issue with that, so even you Mac folks should consider using Firefox or Chrome.
Now, if you notice, as they go through this, they are taking an interactive quiz. So what they would do is they would click on this, and based on the information that I just presented in the video, they're given quiz questions along the way. Now, by using Screencast, I can also see that a student just didn't complete this in 2 or 3 minutes, that they watched the complete video, and I do require that they watch the entire video to earn these points. But these are the things, the interactive things that I want students to do. So when this is complete, Screencast every evening will send me the results so that I can put the results back into Blackboard. So this is a great way to do interactive lectures where students need to be watching and need to be engaged. So I utilize this throughout the course, and I'm really trying to utilize it more in as I give lectures that students are required to answer a quiz, so that I know that they're watching these lectures and that they're interacting with the course material. Hugely important that they do that. Now, I'm going to give you an example of what a week looks like. So again, each week they get a welcome to the week video. And if we look at week 4, what I would do is give the students a welcome to the week video where I'm clicking on week 4 and walking through the material. So let me give you a quick example of that. Hello students, and welcome to week 4 for CIS 120. I am Eric Magidson, and I still am your instructor in week 4. Now, as we go through week 4, you'll notice that I've given you this time management estimate. Now, that is based on how long other students from previous terms have reported it's taken them to do these activities. So if you notice, you're going to need to invest 4 hours for reading, about an hour for lecture and instructional videos, software installation, which is brand new for this week. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Chapter labs and assignments. So finally, you're looking at, actually, this is wrong and I apologize. You are looking at 4, 5, 6, 7 hours and 30 minutes that you're going to need to invest in this course. So students, as I've suggested in previous weeks and in the welcome to the week to the course video, invest just an hour a day to do this work. You're going to get much more out of the course. So students, if you notice here, I've given you some instructions for installing Office 2019. This is the localized installation, not the online version, which is Office 365. I'm going to encourage you to watch this video that details how, because you are a student at COCC, you can get this software free of charge through your Office 365 account and download it to your Mac or PC. Now, those of you that are running Mac and may choose to run a PC version so that the material that you receive matches what is in the textbook, so that the screenshots match because you'll be using PC, I would encourage you to watch this video here and consider installing either the free VMware virtualization server, or go ahead and find another virtualized server to install on your Mac so that you can run Windows 10. Now, you'll also notice that in the sign in here, you have the ability through Microsoft Azure for Students to get a legal copy of Windows 10. So watch that video. Now, let's go through the week real quick. We are going to cover this week Word Module 2019 Module 1 and Word 2019 Module 2. So this is what you're used to seeing in every single module that I give you. First of all, the student data files, the data files that you need for the entire Word section are right here. So you can download this file. And if you don't know how to unzip a file, go back to the frequently asked questions. I have a video that will demonstrate how to download and unzip the data you need. Here are the outcomes for this module, so make sure you review that. Lecture slides are right here for your review. Supporting videos, so these are the outcomes as you can see, and for a lot of these outcomes I've created short 2 to 3 minute videos, sometimes up to 6, on how to do these basic outcomes. So one way you can learn is to do this. Another way is to engage the SAM online software. You have a training and a quiz. This week, if you notice, these are recommended assignments, so they aren't required. But remember, when I say recommended, I mean strongly recommended. As you go through this material, the best way to do it is to go through the lecture videos I'm providing, the supporting instructional videos that you see above, do the SAM work, and then get into that textbook that you invested in. So get into that textbook, follow along the activities in the textbook. Again, the textbook data files are here as well as online. At that point, you notice here you have an instruction, an assignment here for Word Module 1. It is a required assignment, as it says, and it is worth 10 points. So here are the instructions on where to find it. And again, if you're using the ebook as part of MindTap, please make sure that you go back to the frequently asked questions and you can get that material. Let's go look at real quickly at Module 2. So in Module 2, what we have is the same material for you folks. The Word data files, again, these are the exact same data files for all of the Word section. So I just put it here so it's convenient for you to find them again if you haven't downloaded them. Chapter outcomes, slides, supporting lectures. So if you notice here, finding and replacing text. Don't forget to do the SAM work. Go ahead and do the training, always a great way to learn the outcomes, and then do the quiz to see if you have mastered those outcomes. If you notice here, we have a Word in-class lab. There's 2-part videos here, and if you notice, one is 10 minutes, one is 6:20. You are going to create a lab, a deliverable that you will click here on the title and upload utilizing Blackboard. You'll browse your computer, you'll upload your completed file for grading, and as you noticed, it is worth 20 points. It's a required assignment. Finally, you'll go into Module 2, and you will do one more assignment. So you have 3 main assignments this week. It is a required assignment. It is from the textbook. And again, as I said, information on how to access the textbook is found in the frequently asked questions section. So instructors, that's the kind of short but detailed video that students get each week as to what is being done. And again, I use the Snagit tool. I record the video, upload it, and then distribute a link for them to watch that video. The great thing is they can watch that video on the go, i.e. via their cell phones, their Macs, their PCs, anywhere that they have internet access. So if they're sitting waiting 10 minutes, they can watch that welcome video and start preparing for the week. Now remember, in that welcome video, sometimes I will give them activities that they can do for performance points so that I know that they watched the video. It does become clear when students email questions whether they've watched the video or not, and I am not opposed, if it's very clear that they haven't, to simply sending them a link and say, please watch the video. Once you do that, I'm happy to answer your questions. So as you can see, it takes a lot of time to set up a course like this. Now, what I want to point out is the use of color. Now, if we do have folks that are colorblind, they're still going to be able to read. And if you notice, that's why I put behind here, if it's a required assignment, if it's training, if it's a recommended assignment, things that they should do. And if it is a required assignment, I always put the point values. So if they're not able to view the color, they can still get the information that they need that is important for them to know about the course. You'll also notice that anytime I put out a video, I put the number of minutes that the video is. And the reason for this is so that students can manage their time. I used to start out with lecture videos that were an hour long, and I found students weren't watching them. So what I found is break it up into 10 to 15 minute parts. That way students can watch them over a period of time or over a few days, and they tend to consume the information better. Remember that also if you're using Camtasia and Screencast to do this, you can actually do interactive videos that are uploaded to Screencast that can stay on Screencast to be used multiple times for multiple courses, but have embedded quizzes in them. So I strongly suggest that as well. If you notice that my content here is set up that each week has a weekly folder, so you can go in there. Fall, we do 11 weeks worth of work. Here, quizzes and exams, anytime that there's a quiz or exam, they will find it here. I notify them in the video. I usually provide 72 hours. I let them know when that is. So in the welcome video, I talk about any quiz that's due that week, when it will open and when it will close, so students are aware that they have a quiz. No different than a pop quiz in class. I'm not going to continue to tell them and remind them of a class. Finally, they can view their grades. I provide a single late voucher. It is a Google form, so students have the option, should life get in the way, to complete a Google form and submit one assignment up to 1 week late. If they don't use this late voucher form, they are able to then get performance points, if you notice here, for not having to use it. So as you can see, a student comes in, they fill this out. I get this through a Google document. They check boxes so that they understand the limits of using this and the assignment and the class that they are in. So Google Forms are a great way to do some dynamic quizzing, even to do quizzing inside of the Blackboard system if you want to use an alternative that is available anywhere. Course evaluations, when those come up, Blackboard help, and resources for students as it pertains to additional information they need to be successful in an online course. Folks, I hope this helps you. Please feel free to ask questions within the comments section, and I will answer those as soon as I can. I hope this helps you create really great online content that you can be proud of. Take care.